Morning everybody, it's Kim. I thought I'd bring you out briefly to the garden. I have been doing some pretty wicked pruning on my tomatoes, and for those of you that live in the north, you might want to do the same. As you can see, these have been cut back severely. That's a pile of tomato trimmings. That's a pile of tomato trimmings, and I have another one started over here. What I do is I go through and I look for places like this that have new growth, and I snip them off. Anything new, especially anything with flowers. And you're probably thinking, oh, why would I do that? That's a potential new tomato. Well, I can tell you right now, at least here in Michigan, they're not going to be ready in time before winter. They're not going to get large enough to even worry about. So what it does is it allows the rest of the tomato plant to put its energy into ripening what you may still have there on the vines. As you can see, I have a lot of tomatoes still left on the vines. I also go through and I trim off anything that's touching the ground. One, because it's starting to get a lot more rain here, and they're just going to rot if they hit the ground anyway. And two, we start getting a huge slug problem here. And that's not a problem. See, this one has already been trimmed some, but as you can see, there's still a lot that's touching the ground. I have to go through and trim all of that up. The slugs start coming out. Between the slugs and the mud, anything on the ground, some of those small ones I'll leave like that, and I'll just throw them up into the plant. Usually you can just toss them up onto a part of the plant and they'll probably ripen anyway. So I just don't like them touching the ground. But I wanted to recommend for those of you in the northern states where we're talking about getting some frost pretty soon, you might want to consider doing some pretty heavy pruning to your tomatoes. Again, take off it's hard to do, but you got to snip off your flowers. I just usually take the whole tips off because you want all the energy to go into ripening those tomatoes you have left. And it also allows me the chance that if we were to get a frost overnight, I could throw a piece of plastic or something down over these plants, and I'm not going to worry about anything, laying there getting rotten anyway. So anyway, time to get out, and don't worry if they're still green. Pick them, put them in the house, they'll ripen. I'll show you the big piles I have in my house. This is the third bucket today I've taken out of here, and I'm finding some ripe ones. I'm just making sauce every day for the last week. I just keep tossing tomatoes in, freezing it until I'm ready to can. But time to think about saving those tomatoes if you can. Here's that same tomato plant that was laying all over the ground just a couple minutes ago. As you can see, I do a very drastic trimming on them. Now, those few tomatoes that are left, they're going to have a better chance to ripen. And if they don't ripen on the vine, I can come out here. If we have a frost, I can hurry up and take them off the vines, and I'll be good to go. So anyway, I wanted to encourage you to start thinking about pruning back your tomatoes, picking ones that you think you're going to need, put them in the house, and let them ripen up. I'll give you a quick peek of some of what I have in the house here in just a second. I thought I'd show you what I brought in. This is one bucket that I just finished up with. This has tomatoes, beets, carrots, and cabbage, and then I found another zucchini hidden. This is some more tomatoes. That's why I left a lot on the vine. As you can see, they're still going. So don't worry, they ripen up. These were just like that about a week ago. And this will be after that, and I sort through them every day, and I start making tomatoes and sauces. So get out there, prune up those tomatoes. It's not lost yet. You still have time. Have a wonderful day, everybody.